And also, there's nothing that says this interval can't change either, right? This QT interval, that maybe the ventricles will contract faster after the atria contract to allow for an increase in heart rate. So you see we have different intervals here that we would like to measure, and this is time, right? This is going to be in milliseconds, right? See how this will change. Okay. So to do this, we need to do an EKG tracing on the test subject immediately after exercise, immediately after biofeedback, immediately after standing up from lying down, to get an idea of where, if the heart rate changes, how did the EKG change? And that gives us an idea of the mechanism by which the heart rate increased. Was it just sympathetic or parasympathetic stimulation? Or did something happen within the tracing to facilitate that? Does that kind of make sense? So what you're going to be doing is every time we do this, and this is what I would, this is the order within which I would do this. I would do the sitting first. So you're going to have to repeat this experiment to get all the data we need. You're going to have to repeat this experiment 5 times. It has to be the same test subject each time. And really only need, you're going to have to be working in groups. We really only need 1 person per group to do it. It takes a while to run them through everything. I would do the first sitting. Then I would have them do biofeedback, which is the kind of relaxation, go to your special place. And then I would have them lying down. Now this is going to be, normally we do this in a place where there are tables. I don't know if you want to lie down on these tables or not. You can lie down, I guess, in the back on the table. We can clean it off or put down some paper or something like that to make it clean, but we do need a value lying down, so we'll do the best we can in here for that one. And then after that one, you're going to have them stand up. And this is immediately upon standing up, you do this. Right? And then you're going to have them do a post-exercise. And the exercise for me here is going to be just a jog around the perimeter of the Science Village. We used to have, when we were on the U building, just go up and down the stairs once, but here just a jog around the Science Village and come back. And as soon as you get back, immediately you need to do the value. Now the way I've got the lab written is not the best order within which to do things, but I had to have it separated out. What I would do is I would do everything all at the same time. Get the person hooked up to the EKG, right? Have somebody be responsible for taking the blood pressure, have somebody be responsible for running the EKG, have somebody be responsible for taking heart rates, have somebody be responsible for taking respiratory rates. So you need 4 or 5 people in a group, okay, to be able to have somebody responsible for all of this, and then 1 test subject who's going to be doing this. And what you'll have them do while they're sitting down, you're going to do the EKG or ECG, you're going to do a heart rate, you're going to do a blood pressure, and you're going to do a respiratory rate, okay, while they're sitting. Get all those values, write those numbers down. With the ECG, what we want is we want all these intervals. What's the QT, QRF, QT, and TP intervals? What are those data? And you're going to have to do the EKG. Remember how we clicked and dragged to measure delta T on that, biopack and all that. We're using the same stuff again to do that there. And then get the numbers, then repeat it for biofeedback. Let them relax. Have them sit there with their eyes closed, relaxed for a few minutes. And then don't tell them you're going to start doing it, and then just start taking the data. But they need to have been sitting there for a few minutes to do that. You want them to try to get to that biofeedback mode, right? Get that parasympathetic stimulation going. So do that, and then write all these data down here. Okay? And then have them lie down. And again, have them lie down for 5 minutes or so. And then don't tell them you're going to do it, but then just do the data. Collect all the data on them. While they're lying down, and then write all that data down, then have them stand up. Now this is the difficult one because you want it as soon as they get vertical, standing up or sitting up or whatever. If you're lying on the back counter, be careful you don't hit your head on the cabinets, I guess. This is the best way to do this here, but whatever.
Because then there'll be no blood pressure anymore.
And then as soon as they get vertical, you're hitting record. You're recording the heart rate, recording the EKG, recording the respiratory rate, taking the blood pressure as soon as they're vertical. Because remember, in a matter of about 5 seconds, this is done. So if you don't get that blood pressure quick and that heart rate quick, you're not going to see it. And that's okay, but we'll just do the best we can. And then I would do this one last, because for some of you, depending upon who the test subject was, if we did this first, your cardiovascular system won't be back to normal before the end of class, okay? Because you're not very fit. The more fit you are, the more rapidly your cardiovascular system will return to normal after a sympathetic response, right? I mean, there are obviously world-class athletes. They can go run a mile, and 2 minutes after they run the mile, they're all back to normal the way they were before they run the mile. Some of us, if we ran a mile, it could be lunchtime, and we're not back to normal. Okay? It's sad but true. Okay? So that is a function of fitness. So we want to do this one the very last thing you do. And then again, run an EKG, heart rate, blood pressure, respiratory rate immediately upon coming back. Have them go jog around the village, come back in, plug them in, hit record, and get all these data that you need for that. Okay, there. So that's the data we're going to collect. The other information we want to know about your test subject are these variables here. We want to have some indication of what is, what